understand, we do so many things subconsciously. We don't even try to understand what is going inside us and coming out of us. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the piece of information you will discover, you will experience when you upgrade yourself with the water project. And thanks to Energetic India, 7 years back, it happened in our life and we started upgrading ourselves with water education, and gratitude to Panacea Friday Water Educators Forum 137th week. Now, taking this session forward quickly, the point here is the percentage of hydrogen in normal potable drinking water is approximately 0.0017%. May I repeat again? 0.0017% of hydrogen in a normal potable drinking water. Now, if we were to consume 3 to 5 grams of hydrogen in the water, do we know approximately how many glasses of water we would have to consume in a day? Very important for us to understand hydration. Now, drinking every water is not hydration. So we need to understand what hydrates us, what detoxifies us, what acidifies us, what alkalizes us, and how water is a crucial, critical element that we consume from head to toe every single day. Do we all agree? Every single day, one element that touches 37.2 trillion cells from the top of your head to the bottom of your toe, the tip of your toe, it is water. Now, if water is such a crucial element, we need to understand that approximately average, we may need to consume 588 glasses of water every single day. Hello. How many of us here drinking 588 glasses of water on a daily basis, regular basis? So ladies and gentlemen, today, when we talk about these statistics or such important information, there may be a plus minus 5% variation allowance to the education and knowledge. There is a disclaimer. Whatever we are going to share here, it is going to be on an educational purpose in context of education. Now, taking this session forward, Dr. Tyler, welcome on this forum. We officially proceed ahead with our talk show. Now, our viewers here, those of you who are hearing this name for the first time or meeting this living legend for the first time, type 222 in the chat box so that we can have a formal introduction of Dr. Tyler by himself in detail and what made him this special. What made him this special? Hydrogen man, hydrogen supersonic man on planet Earth. So Dr. Tyler, over to you.
Okay, well, thank you. It's my pleasure to be here and to talk a little bit about my research on molecular hydrogen. As you said, I learned about this back in 2009. So, now going, 14 years, continuing looking at the research, being involved with it, the investigations. And to answer some of your question, how did I get involved in molecular hydrogen in the first place? And interestingly, it actually came from learning about alkaline ionized water. So all of you people already understand alkaline ionized water. And around 14 years ago, I learned about this and I wanted to understand it. I wanted to understand how the water was working, what was responsible for the therapeutic effects. And this made me start to really research all the different properties of the water, whether it was from the alkaline pH or the claims that were made about structuring of the water or other properties of the water, the negative oxidation reduction potential, or the ORP of the water. All of these things. At the time, nobody was talking about molecular hydrogen. And so I never thought to and research that. But as I continued looking at the water and trying to investigate every property, I realized that this negative ORP was very important. And so I needed to figure out what was responsible for the negative ORP. And when I started my studies at the university, and as you mentioned, my I did my undergraduate in biochemistry. So I have many chemistry classes, and I started to do the research on what is making a negative ORP. And I found it was the hydrogen gas. So when you take hydrogen gas and you dissolve it into water, then you get a negative ORP. And so that was very important for me to realize that it was the hydrogen gas responsible for the negative ORP. But then that made me wonder, is this also going to be important for the therapeutic effects of the water? And indeed, when I started looking at the research, I found that there are a lot of scientific publications showing that hydrogen gas or molecular hydrogen had lots of therapeutic properties, including antioxidant effects, anti-inflammatory effects, and many other aspects. So this was very, very exciting. And that's really how I started learning about the benefits of molecular hydrogen. It came from the alkaline ionized water. So, do you want me to? I'll continue. Yeah.
Yeah, that was fantastic response. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are loving this conversation, please type 333 in the chat box before we move to the next question for Dr. Tyler. Dr. Tyler, this brings me to a very interesting engagement forward to understand from you, what is molecular hydrogen exactly? What does it do? And what is its relation to pH? What is pH in the water? Because there has been a lot of topics and conversations hovering around these two factors in the water, the pH of the water and the molecular hydrogen in the water.
Yes, yes. It's a very good question. Yeah, so when we talk about molecular hydrogen, we're talking about hydrogen gas. It has the structure of just two hydrogen atoms that are chemically bonded together. Okay, so that's going to form an H2 molecule, or a molecule of hydrogen. That's the molecular hydrogen we're talking about. And we know it's often used in the alternative energy source, for example, because it's 3 times more energy dense than gasoline. And for this reason, hydrogen gas is a very good fuel source, but it turns out it also has therapeutic effects. Now, molecular hydrogen, as its H2 molecule, it's neutral, so it doesn't have a negative or a positive charge. And this is very important because it is the neutral property of this molecule that allows it to easily enter into our cells, into our mitochondria, and into all the places it needs to go to. Now, to your question about what is the relationship between molecular hydrogen and pH, it's very important. Molecular hydrogen does not influence the pH. Okay, pH means a potential hydrogen. But what hydrogen does that mean? There are different forms of hydrogen. The potential hydrogen for pH is about the hydrogen ion, or the H+ ion. Okay, that's when a hydrogen atom loses an electron, so there's no electrons, and it's just a bare proton. That is a hydrogen ion. And when this is in the water, then the higher the concentration of hydrogen ions, then the lower or the more acidic the pH. That's the definition of pH, is basically how much hydrogen ions are in there. But the hydrogen gas, or molecular hydrogen that we're talking about, of course, this contains 2 electrons. So molecular hydrogen and hydrogen ions are completely different. They're completely different species. Molecular hydrogen has antioxidant effects. Hydrogen ions is what makes the water acidic. So molecular hydrogen does not change or influence the pH of the water at all. And so if you took water, you could take alkaline water, a neutral water, or acidic water, and you could bubble pure hydrogen gas into the water to dissolve it, and it wouldn't change what the pH is, because there's no relationship between them. And this is important because sometimes people think the higher the pH, then that means the more molecular hydrogen. But that's not necessarily the case, because, like I said, molecular hydrogen does not change the pH, has nothing to do with that. And then more to what you said about the importance of molecular hydrogen in the alkaline ionized water. As I was mentioning earlier, we know that it is the molecular hydrogen, this gas, that is responsible for the negative ORP in the water. And many of the people here already know this. They know that if they take their alkaline ionized water and they leave it on the counter for a while, then the negative ORP goes back positive. It was negative and then it becomes positive. Why does that happen? It simply happens because the molecular hydrogen, which is a gas, it comes out. So just like there are carbonated beverages with CO2, like carbonated water or carbonated sodas, eventually the CO2 goes out of those beverages. It goes out of the water, and then the product is flat. It doesn't have the carbon dioxide. It's not carbonated. The carbonic acid is gone. The hydrogen gas is also, well, simply a gas. And so if you leave the water on the counter for a long time, the hydrogen gas will come out. And then that's why the negative ORP is lost. And also, just as all of you know, that when the negative ORP is lost from the water, the therapeutic benefits are also lost. So everyone knows that in order to have the water have a therapeutic effect, it has to have a negative ORP. Well, that's because in order to have a negative ORP, it has to have hydrogen gas in it. So that's the importance of molecular hydrogen. And in fact, research has demonstrated over and over again that when you remove the molecular hydrogen from the water, the therapeutic benefits of the water are eliminated. So that's critical importance. Molecular hydrogen, in this case, shows that it is exclusively molecular hydrogen that is responsible for the therapeutic effects of the alkaline ionized water.
That's fantastic, but this also brings me to a very personal question. Yeah, sorry.
Because I just want to reiterate, there are so many studies that have demonstrated that when molecular hydrogen is removed from the water, the therapeutic benefits are eliminated. And that's why it's so important that we focus on molecular hydrogen.
Okay, great. So this brings me to another interesting question for you, Dr. Tyler. You are the right person to answer this. And probably this is question of all the people who are in the ionizer business, specifically people who are using water ionizers for molecular hydrogen. So this brings to me a question. What is the difference between a hydrogen-rich water and a naturally alkaline water? Are they the same or are they different?
Yeah, they would be different. So the difference between alkaline ionized water and naturally alkaline water, right? So with naturally alkaline water, there might be some benefits, not because of the pH, but because of the minerals that are added to the water. So magnesium, calcium, manganese, these are very important minerals for the body. And so it's possible that there are benefits from the water because of these minerals, which are very good for us. However, this natural alkaline water would not have any molecular hydrogen. So the alkaline waters you buy at the store or that you find other locations, there's no molecular hydrogen in there, which is, as I said, what we have demonstrated conclusively is the therapeutic component or the therapeutic agent in the water. So with alkaline ionized water, it becomes alkaline because when you do electrolysis, you convert the hydrogen ions, as I mentioned, the hydrogen ions, which is acidic, you convert those to hydrogen gas. So you get rid of the hydrogen ions, that makes the pH go up, and you convert them to molecular hydrogen. So it's the alkaline ionized water can have molecular hydrogen. That's why you see all the bubbles in the water. That's the molecular hydrogen. But you've got to measure the concentration in order to know if it's at the therapeutic level that you want, that you need.
That was a very specific response and answer. Guys, if you're enjoying this conversation, please type 444 in the chat box. This is an interesting piece of information. This brings me to one more question to you, Dr. Tyler, in the same alignment. Like you said earlier, when it is a hydrogen-rich water, the pH goes down, can be even 6 pH, it doesn't matter. Or it could be below the drinking water pH levels. Whereas alkaline water, the pH is higher than the drinking levels, probably. So does the pH ever affect or create a diseased condition in the body? Acidic pH.
Well, of course, our body is very sensitive to changes in pH. So our blood pH, for example, stays within a very narrow range of about 7.35 to 7.45. And if our pH gets lower than this, then we start to have a lot of issues. And many people realize this. If you exercise really hard at a very high intensity, your muscles get fatigued very quickly. And that's because the pH decreases just a little bit, decreases maybe 7.2, for example. And when it gets to that low, you feel extremely exhausted because your body can't operate at that low pH. So it keeps a very tight regulation. And we regulate our pH primarily by breathing, okay? When we breathe, we exhale CO2, we exhale carbon dioxide. And many of you may have seen a demonstration where if you take a straw and you blow through the straw into water, and then you put CO2 into the water, the pH of the water will decrease. It was alkaline, then it becomes acidic. That's from the CO2, the carbon dioxide, right? And when the carbon dioxide dissolves in your blood, that also lowers the pH. But that's how the body regulates the pH. And so it's very easy. You can increase your blood pH simply by hyperventilating or breathing very fast. That raises the pH a lot higher. Or if you hold your breath for a long time, that can lower the pH. But it's very important to realize that the body regulates the pH very tightly, and that simply drinking alkaline ionized water will not have any influence on the pH. And as you said, when you can have hydrogen gas, you can dissolve it in acidic water or neutral water, the stomach acid, it doesn't matter. It has no influence on the actual therapeutic effects of the water, because the pH does not matter. It's the molecular hydrogen. And in fact, many of the studies, the scientific studies, when they show antioxidant effects in cell culture, okay, so you have a cell culture like a petri dish, you put cells in there, and you want to see if the alkaline ionized water has therapeutic effects. The first thing as researchers that we do is we neutralize the pH to be about a pH of 7.4. Because if we added pH 9.5 directly to the cells, it would kill the cells. Okay, you can't do that. So we first neutralize the pH and we see the therapeutic effects. And why are the therapeutic effects? It is because of the hydrogen gas. And in animal studies where they can drink alkaline water, neutral water, or acidic water, we find that the only thing that mattered was the concentration of dissolved hydrogen gas, the concentration of molecular hydrogen.
Oh, that's fantastic. But Brun, what is the daily recommended dosage? Okay, the daily recommended dosage of water, if it is molecular hydrogen water or if it is alkaline water? How many glasses a day or something?
Yes, so so again, the pH does not matter. All right, we just have to figure out what the concentration of molecular hydrogen is, and it can be difficult because with alkaline ionized waters, remember, these devices were developed back in the 1960s, 70s, 80s. That was way, way, way before we knew about molecular hydrogen. So these devices were designed to make an alkaline pH. That's what the focus was, alkaline pH, not necessarily molecular hydrogen. But now we know it is a molecular hydrogen that we get the benefits. So every machine and every source water may have a different concentration of molecular hydrogen. It might be as high as 1 milligram per liter, okay? Or it might be lower than 0.1 milligram per liter, okay? So if it's only 0.1 milligram per liter, you might have to drink, 30 glasses or 40 glasses of the water in order to see the benefits, right? But if it's a higher concentration, say 2 milligrams per liter, maybe now you only need to drink 2 glasses in order to see the same benefits. So it's all about the concentration of molecular hydrogen. And the higher the concentration, the more effective, the more therapeutic it's going to be.
Oh, fantastic. Why is molecular hydrogen the most critical antioxidant that has ever been discovered in mankind? Because there are synthetic antioxidants, trillions of dollars being invested in discovering the synthetic antioxidants and antioxidants through nature, fruits and vegetables. And probably why is molecular hydrogen being made so important, or something like a super tonic?
Yes, very, very good question. And the reason is there are several important reasons why. Okay, number one, in order for an antioxidant to give you any benefit, it has to get inside of the cell. Okay, that's logical. It has to get inside the cell. Now, in order to get inside the cell, there are several properties that make it more bioavailable. Number one is if it's small. The smaller the molecule, the easier it's going to be to get inside of the cell. Well, guess what? Molecular hydrogen is the smallest molecule in the universe. So it can get inside of the cell easier than anything else. And other larger antioxidants and protein complex antioxidants, they cannot get inside the cell very easy because they're so large. Another thing that dictates its bioavailability is not only its size, but also its charge, okay? If it's a charge like an ion, it cannot go through the cell membrane. It has to go through a specific transporter. So you have something small like a sodium ion, a potassium ion, right? There are ion channels in the cell that those ions can go through. They can't go through the cell membrane. Well, molecular hydrogen doesn't have to go through an ion channel. So it can diffuse, just simple passive diffusion right through the cell. And third, the other part is the polarity, okay? If it's polar versus non-polar. So water is a polar molecule. It has like a Mickey Mouse shape to it. And that actually makes it so that the water molecule also cannot go right into the cell through the cell membrane. It has to go through an aquaporin, a protein channel that's specifically designed to allow water to go into it. So even though water is small and it's neutral, it's nonpolar, and therefore it cannot easily enter the cell. It has to go through a protein channel. Again, molecular hydrogen, it's no problem. It can go right through the cell membrane into the subcellular compartments, the nucleus, the mitochondria, all the different subcellular organelles. Molecular hydrogen can penetrate very rapidly and very easily. So that's number one, what makes hydrogen a superior type of an antioxidant. But number two is we have to recognize that we don't want an excessive level of antioxidants, because free radicals, yes, we know they are bad. Free radicals, yes, we know they can cause cancer and all sorts of diseases and all these problems, but the body also needs free radicals, okay? Many of us have heard things like nitric oxide. Nitric oxide causes vasodilation, okay? It's very important, but nitric oxide is a free radical, all right? You have other oxidants like hydrogen peroxide. Many people know the benefits of hydrogen peroxide. The immune system, when the immune system gets activated, it produces free radicals like superoxide radical and others, okay? So these are very important free radicals. And if we neutralize all of them, then we're gonna have a major problem in our body. Okay, it's one of the causes of diseases is not just oxidative stress, but what's called the redox dysregulation, okay? An imbalance between oxidation and antioxidation. And other antioxidants are indiscriminate. In other words, other antioxidants can scavenge or neutralize all of the free radicals that we want, the free radicals that we need, like nitric oxide or superoxide. It just gets rid of all of them. Molecular hydrogen does not do that. It only goes after the bad guys, like the hydroxyl radical, the peroxynitrite. It only scavenges the most toxic, pernicious, damaging radicals and does not harm the good guys. It only goes after the bad guys. So this is the second reason why. The third reason why is because molecular hydrogen not only has antioxidant properties itself, but it also is able to tell our bodies, our cells, to produce more of its own antioxidants. So our bodies naturally produce antioxidants, things like glutathione, glutathione peroxidase, superoxide dismutase. All of these antioxidants our body produces naturally. It turns out molecular hydrogen has the ability to increase or upregulate, induce the expression, the production of these natural antioxidants. And that right there is going to be extremely important for us to protect our cells and our body from all the damage and oxidative stress that comes from the environment. So those are three reasons why molecular hydrogen is the superior antioxidant. It's bioavailability. It only goes after the bad free radicals, and it increases our natural antioxidant self-defense system.
That was a fantastic response on the subject of antioxidant, Dr. Tyler. My pleasure learning so many things on antioxidants. Now, coming to the next part, does antioxidants help in detox? either in superior detoxification or superior hydration? What does it help in?
Yeah, so with the detoxification, that goes with the same process as antioxidation, okay? To be more specific, when I talked about how hydrogen can increase our body's natural antioxidant self-defense system, it does that because it activates what's called a transcription factor, a protein that turns on the DNA. This transcription factor is called NRF2, okay? The NRF2 protein or transcription factor is what turns on the DNA to make antioxidant enzymes as well as detoxification enzymes. This is called phase 2 detoxification enzymes, and it regulates over 200 different detoxification and antioxidation enzymes. So molecular hydrogen is key for the detoxification antioxidation process. Okay, now with hydration, it's not directly going to do things to hydration because we want the body to be regulated and be in its own homeostasis. However, if there are problems with excessive inflammation, oxidative damage, issues with aquaporin translocation, all of those are going to impair hydration. But molecular hydrogen, with its antioxidative effects, its anti-inflammatory effects, and its ability to improve cellular function like aquaporin activity, that's going to lead to improved hydration where it is impaired.
Oh, wow. So this brings me to a super point. What is the ratio of balance between antioxidant and alkalinity in the water for betterment of wellness?
Yes, very, very good question. And it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. In this case, there is absolutely no relationship. Okay? There's no relationship because there are two distinct types of chemistry. One is redox chemistry. That's transfer of electrons. The other is acid-base chemistry. That's transfer of hydrogen ions or protons. So one is transfer of protons. That's alkalinity, acid-base. Protons are not antioxidants. Okay? So alkalinity, acid-base, that's transfer of protons. Redox chemistry is transfer of electrons. A proton and electron are not the same thing. They are distinct entities. They are different. They are opposite of each other. So in this case, there is no connection between redox, right, or antioxidant activity and alkalinity. And that's why the pH of the water does not matter. It's all about the concentration of molecular hydrogen because our body already naturally regulates alkalinity by breathing. We need help with the redox aspect, the redox chemistry. That's the antioxidants, and that's what molecular hydrogen does.
But then there is so much of information overload on the internet, social media, or even many of those research articles that I was going through. And it says that acidic pH is the root cause of all diseases, whether like Dr. Warburg on cancer. Even cancer cells thrive in acidic environment, and Robert Wright, Dr. Young, Dave Carpenter, Peggy Parker. You talk of all those doctors, they talk about acidic pH and neutralizing that. All through they publish volumes of chapters on this acidic pH. So you mean to say acidic pH doesn't matter when it comes to health, when you have molecular hydrogen?
Well, first I am saying that you cannot ingest alkaline water in order for that to fight against issues with the body. Okay, the body already regulates its own metabolism. The body already regulates its own pH. It uses respiration, like we talked about. It uses our kidneys. So that's already taken care of. And I've heard the claims that Dr. Otto Warburg, who is a famous biochemist, okay, and he won the Nobel Prize and was nominated for other Nobel Prizes. And it is claimed that his data shows that cancer can't thrive in an alkaline environment. That could not be further from the truth. If you go look at his research, okay, if you look at his research shows the exact opposite. His research shows that surprisingly, in his mind, for example, he was thinking, cells don't live very good in when there's no oxygen because we need oxygen. He was surprised that cancer can thrive just as good in an oxygen poor environment as it can an oxygen rich environment. All right, that's called the Warburg effect. He was surprised about this phenomena, and he found that when there was low oxygen levels, the cancer still was able to survive and thrive just as well. And during this time, there was an increased amount of acidic production or metabolic acidic waste. That's what he found. He did not find that cancer does not thrive in an alkaline environment. He simply found that cancer thrives in an oxygen poor, oxygen rich environment, and it can make a lot of acid. And importantly, because cancer, when there's low oxygen levels, when cancer makes a lot of acid, acid is very acidic. It's very damaging to the cells. Okay, we know this. So what cancer does is they develop proton transporters or acid transporters, and they excrete all the excess acid out of the tumor. And this creates the tumor to become very alkaline. Okay, so look it up. You go to PubMed, go to scientific articles and type in tumors and alkalinity or alkalinization or alkaline. And you'll see many publications showing that cancer cells themselves are often extremely alkaline. They have a very high pH, okay? So it's the exact opposite of what people claim. And Dr. Otto Warburg's, his research actually shows those things. So there's other doctors that you had mentioned that have talked about how, we have to alkalize our bodies and the disease can't exist in alkaline environments. Well, that's simply not true. And that's why none of those doctors have published a single peer-reviewed publication in the scientific community. Not a single one. Anybody can write a book. Anybody can write a book and publish it. That doesn't mean anything, right? Show me the data. Show me the scientific data published in a reputable journal. That is what is important, and that's what none of them have. Dr. Otto Warburg, in contrast, he does have numerous publications, and all of them show the exact opposite of what these people claim that he says. So to the point with molecular hydrogen, that's why molecular hydrogen is so important, because we're not talking about acid-base chemistry. We're talking about redox chemistry. We're talking about antioxidant protection so that we don't get the cancer in the first place.
That's fantastic response. Then this also brings me to the question, the bubble. Most of us are energy Kangen distributors here. We are from the water ionizer breed, one of the best. So the bubbles that we see, the cloud that we are fascinated with in our glass of 9.5 pH water, is it hydrogen? Is it oxygen? What is it exactly?
Yeah, so in that water specifically, that will be hydrogen gas. It will not oxygen. So during electrolysis, you form hydrogen gas at the cathode. Hydrogen gas occurs at the cathode, the negative electrode, and you do form some oxygen gas, but that's at the anode. That's the other electrode. So that's where the acidic water would go in. You'd have some oxygen gas there. So the hydrogen gas is what you see in the glass. All right. Now, there's good news and bad news about this. Okay. The good news is if you see the bubbles, that is direct evidence that molecular hydrogen gas was produced. Those are hydrogen gas molecules. And many people have done this. You can hold a flame up to the water as it comes out, and you can hear it, popping and sparking. That's because of the hydrogen gas. So that's the good news. The bad news is that all of those gas bubbles that are so big and evaporate out, well, they evaporate out. So they don't give you any benefit. The hydrogen gas has to be dissolved in the water in order for it to be there long enough so that by the time you ingest it, it can go into the body and then go into the cells. All right. So it's that means that hydrogen gas is not completely dissolved. If it's not fully dissolved, okay, then it's not going to give you the therapeutic benefits because it's just going to escape out. All right. I saw you drinking from another hydrogen water source. And I was just wanted to mention, yes, if you look at the water, there's no bubbles. There's no bubbles. But yet that water, if you measure with gas chromatography, has extremely high levels of molecular hydrogen. But there's no bubbles, and that's because the hydrogen is fully dissolved in the water. So that's a very key point. Okay, we want hydrogen gas to be dissolved in the water at high concentrations, not just a bunch of bubbles, because it's just going to go in the atmosphere and you won't get the benefits.
Yeah. But is there a risk for excess use of hydrogen concentration in a water or inhalation or ingestion, whatever?
Actually, all the research shows that there is no risk. There's no danger at this point. I mean, we have used, not we, but humans have used hydrogen gas to prevent decompression sickness since the 1940s at extremely high concentrations, 98.3% concentration at 20 atmospheres of pressure. Okay, this is extremely high levels and no chronic toxic effects. Now there's over 100 human clinical studies using molecular hydrogen with inhalation, drinking hydrogen water, high concentration hydrogen water, and again, no negative effects. In fact, molecular hydrogen is not an alien, foreign substance or drug or synthetic molecule. It's something very natural to our bodies. Okay, when we eat a high fiber diet, something that's healthy for us, our microbiome also produces hydrogen gas. And so we been exposed to hydrogen gas for a long time. Hydrogen gas is the most natural thing there is. We talk about Easter, this weekend, and it thinks of the Bible. There was a famous astronomer who said that if God made the world with a word, that word would be hydrogen. Because indeed, hydrogen is the father of all the elements. It's the ancestor of everything. Okay, everything came from hydrogen, and now we're getting back to the importance of hydrogen for our own health.
That's fantastic. So you mean to say we can definitely conclude that molecular hydrogen through water, bioavailability through water, probably in higher concentration levels, dissolved hydrogen gas has a long-standing, healing effect, or probably long-standing benefits if we use hydrogen-rich water in water.
Yes, absolutely. And that's why it's important to ensure that the concentration of molecular hydrogen in the water is going to be high enough. And it's interesting. Many people who are involved with alkaline ionized water, they actually know this. They know that for some reason, you don't get benefits until you start drinking, 20 or 30 glasses or something of this. Why? Why is that? It's because the concentration of molecular hydrogen is not super high. Okay, so sometimes it is. It depends on many factors, but many people have noticed. Another thing people have noticed: why is it that if you don't clean your machine for a long time, it seems the water doesn't really give you any benefit, but when you clean it, all of a sudden it just feels so good, and you feel much more energized? We now know why. It is because when the machine is cleaned, then it's able to dissolve the molecular hydrogen in the water. See, before the pH was still the same. The pH was still super high, but you stopped feeling the benefits. But after a while, the calcium deposits onto the electrodes, prevents the hydrogen gas from dissolving in the water. So when you clean it, then the hydrogen gas can dissolve in the water, and now you can get those effects. So it's so important that you know what the actual concentration of molecular hydrogen is. And to your point, if the higher the concentration of molecular hydrogen, then that means you can drink less amount of water so that you can still get those benefits. So you think about your grandma, your grandpa, an older person. It is difficult for them to drink, 1 glass of water all at once, or 2 glasses of water all at once, or even throughout the day. If they're frail, if they're old, it can be very difficult. Okay, that's all the more important for them to be able to get a dose of very high concentration hydrogen water, so they do not have to drink as much water, and they can still get all those benefits and get those therapeutic, protective, antioxidant effects throughout all the cells, the 13.2 trillion cells, as you mentioned, in the body.
So, Dr. Tyler, with all your peer-reviewed studies, articles published on molecular hydrogen, can we assertively conclude that molecular hydrogen-rich water, if it has to be prevention, and if you have to sustain, and if you have to enhance longevity and true health, so hydrogen-rich water is the deal? Can we conclude at that point?
Well, yes and no, okay? Because as a scientist, we are very cautious about the direct claims that we make about something. Okay, there has to be so much evidence about something. So we will say, that it has not reached scientific consensus that molecular hydrogen is going to have all these amazing therapeutic effects. And that's and this is why the FDA or the Indian government and other places have not recognized hydrogen gas as a medicine, as a drug or something. In this case, it's not used primarily in this way. Okay, so that is the level of evidence that something has to achieve. I mean, you're talking about doing many clinical studies with tens of thousands of patients for many years before it reaches that level. Okay, so what we have to analyze, we have to do some calculus, some math in our head, and it's the risk to benefit ratio. Okay, we have to consider what is the risk of taking molecular hydrogen. Okay, in terms of health, we don't see any health risks of that. So maybe the risk would be a financial risk, how much does it cost or something in this way, right? But health-wise, there does not seem to be any negative consequences. Then we have to weigh that to the potential benefits. And like I said, there are now over 100 human clinical studies, over 200 scientifically peer-reviewed articles demonstrating the therapeutic effects of molecular hydrogen in over 170 different human and animal disease models, and essentially every organ of the human body. Okay, so the benefits, they appear to be, they have a quite high potential. Okay, so when I do this calculus in my mind, I think, yes, the benefits outweigh the potential risks, because in the worst case scenario, I won't get super great benefits, but in the best case scenario, I'm going to be able to live a lot longer, a lot healthier life, and a happier life too.
Oh, fantastic. This brings me to the final two questions. The question number one is, what are other ways to get molecular hydrogen?
Yes, so again, the drinking hydrogen water is often the most common way because it's the easiest. Everybody drinks water, okay? And again, the water just acts as the carrier for the gas, for the molecular hydrogen that's dissolved in the water, okay? And there are many different ways to get the molecular hydrogen water. You have options like the alkaline water ionizers. You have the little unit that you just showed, your portable hydrogen water unit. That's another great way to get high concentration of hydrogen water. There's even hydrogen producing tablets. There's just directly bubbling or infusing hydrogen gas into water and drinking it. We do this in the laboratory, okay? You also mentioned inhalation, right? So inhalation is also another way where people can sit and they can inhale the molecular hydrogen. And they've used this in many clinical studies. In fact, the Japanese government approved the inhalation of hydrogen gas for a treatment for post-cardiac arrest syndrome, so they can do major clinical studies in hospitals. They've used hydrogen gas inhalation for the treatment of COVID-19 in China. So there are many clinical studies on the inhalation of molecular hydrogen as well. And in some cases, that's the only way to administer molecular hydrogen. Like if somebody is in a coma or something, they cannot drink water, but they can inhale molecular hydrogen, right? So those are the most common ways, but there's others, even, bathing in hydrogen water, okay? There's also just eating the healthy fruits and vegetables, so you get the fibers, and that's going to produce hydrogen gas from the gut bacteria. But again, the drinking of hydrogen water is often the most common, and it's shown to be very therapeutic.
Super. This also brings me to the final question of the day. That is, tell us something about your Molecular Hydrogen Institute. We are very curious to know about it. Definitely, me and my wife and some of my team members, we have decided to enroll for the courses. So we want to know academically what are the benefits, what is it, how do we go about it?
Yes, thank you. So again, yes, Molecular Hydrogen Institute, this is a 501c3 science-based nonprofit, okay? It's a government-based nonprofit, tax exempt, and our mission is research, education, and awareness about molecular hydrogen, all right? And I've developed courses, as you talked about, to educate the world, the public, health practitioners, or just the layman, somebody who's never had chemistry or biology in their life, and they're scared about, oh, it's so much chemistry, I don't understand. I developed these courses so that they can understand molecular hydrogen. They can understand what it is and what it is not. And these courses are also being are going through the process to also be offered by our local college, okay, public college, as well as the university. I teach also at the university, and so we hope these courses will also be offered through the university. So of course it would cost a lot more, but if people wanted to, they could take these classes and get college credit or university credit. But we also offer them simply through the MHI, which is going to be a lot less expensive, but it's the same courses, and they can you can all learn. I hope that you'll all sign up. I'm happy to announce actually that we have after talking with you, Shastri, that we are going to put together a Panacea H2O Gold bundle that is right for your team, where they can sign up and they can be part of this special bundle that MHI is offering, and they can learn the education, and they can get these courses, access to these courses through your really beneficial, so people can understand what molecular hydrogen is, understand how to talk about it, understand how to use it, and understand what it is not, and they can have more confidence and just understand this basic science a lot better.
Wow, that's fantastic. We want to take water education to the next level in this part of the world. And especially Panacea has been 137 weeks today. On this Good Friday, we wanted to announce this bundle. We were waiting for this auspicious day. And probably if you could explain the packages on the bundle. And Adu, if you can just play on the screen, the molecular hydrogen bundle, so that if you can explain the level of courses in level 1-6 courses, what it is all about.
Yes, so I cannot pull it up on my, maybe if you want to, you can pull it up on your screen and we can talk about it. I am on my phone, and so I'm unable to share my screen. But but when you go to that molecular hydrogen bundle, and you can provide a link so that everybody who wants to, they go to that link, and that'll be your special bundle, the Panacea H2O Gold bundle. And when you go there, there'll be 6 courses, okay? 6 independent courses. And these are to be taken in sequential order. So you'll start with course 101, and then after you learn just a little bit of information, you'll take a short quiz. And then you'll go to another module, another section, and you'll learn a little bit more and then take a quiz. And you'll do this over in this sequence, and then there'll be a final exam at the end of the course. And then you'll pass that exam. And once you pass that exam, then you can go to course 102, and you do the same thing, and then course 103 all the way to course 106, and that's the final course. And then there is a final comprehensive exam that goes it goes over all the questions and all the material you learned from the past 6 courses. And once you finish the final comprehensive exam, okay, it's a big one. But once you finish that, you will get an MHI level 1 certification. That's right from MHI. It has my signature on it, and you can have that for your credentials and for your knowledge, for your education. People have really enjoyed the courses so far. They've learned a lot of information, and I'm sure you will also. You want to remember, these courses are not something that you just passively listen to. Okay, you don't just listen. You don't just sign up and then just kind of go through it. It is education. You're going to actively be learning things. You're going to be actively being asked questions, going through the exams, and these types of things. So you have to remember, you're going to be learning. So you want to think it might take you around 20 hours, maybe less, but it might take you as much as 20 hours in order to complete the entire level 1 certification course. But it'll be very much worth your time. Yeah. So here you have from the website pulled up. That this is your H2O Gold bundle. They're all included in this bundle. All those courses.
Yeah, Adu, you can just move the slide forward. Okay. Yeah, thank you. What we will do is to all the people here,
sorry, sir.
we will have a special.
Hello.
No worries, Adu. No worries. It's okay.
Yeah,
So
I
what
think
we will
some
do is we'll
bandwidth
have.
issue, so it stopped suddenly.
Okay. No worries. So what we will do is we'll specially play this courses, the bundle we will share with each and every participant who are available here on this platform. Tomorrow we can continue on this in our Saturday Nourish and Flourish. So with this, we come to the end of the session. Thank you, Dr. Tyler. give us a couple of days before we roll on with this whole program, and we will take water education to the next level. And we also plan that after completing our level 1 courses, few of us would come to USA down to MHI and upgrade ourselves for betterment. Actually, Las Vegas, we will miss the university program that you're conducting over there. But then we will join you definitely sooner or later on this platform. So gratitude and thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Can we all type gratitude, gratitude, gratitude for Dr. Tyler for giving his most precious time. I know the kind of busy schedules that he was running all throughout because he has an upcoming mega event coming through and he has got a lot of university activities to go through. So all the best, Dr. Tyler. Gratitude for being here. Now, because for the next 10-15 minutes, I'll be doing this whole session translation in local language, handling people's queries here. So thanks a lot, Dr. Tyler, for being here. And maybe we will need you one more time also. Once we introduce the courses here and all, we will invite you again on this platform as one of the mentors for Molecular Hydrogen Institute. Thank you. Gratitude. Please type blessings, blessings, blessings for Dr. Tyler for being here this day. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
We will stay back. Sure. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you.
Yeah. So in the meanwhile, yes, Chinnappa bro. Chinnappa bro, if you can just have a word here, and then we will summarize the whole program of today. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Shashi bro. So I think it was a wonderful session. Great understanding about his molecular hydrogen, the health benefits of it, and the presence of that hydrogen molecule in the water, like what we drink. That's called as the Kangen water. Okay, so today I've been drinking this water for the last 6 years, and I've seen its tremendous benefits of it. And because I saw the benefit of this, I started speaking to people about Kangen water, educating these people on the Kangen water. And I've got some great testimonies because I'm not here to say that like it's going to cure something or the other, but definitely a molecular hydrogen-rich water with the benefits like antioxidants-rich, alkalized water, and also microplastering. As Dr. Taylor was speaking about the aquaporins, so I think that's where like we come in.
Yeah, Chinnappa bro, one second.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. We have got Winston Tanser also here now. I just saw.
Oh,
Thank
please,
you,
yeah.
Bala, for that input.
Thank you. Thanks
Winston Tanser, few words from you. Sorry, we missed you at the beginning. Winston Tanser.
Hear me?
Yeah, we can hear.
Yeah.
You. We can.
I'm so sorry. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize. There was a technical snag and I was not in a position to join you. But it's always been my pleasure to be on this platform, especially where panacea, h2o is concerned, and especially where Shashi Ayad and Aru is there. And I sincerely appreciate them for all the innovation that they take, the dedication they show in bringing in these type of very, very, I would say, educative, knowledgeable, and very useful, panel of speakers. Though I was a bit late, I was very impressed with Dr. TYLER LEBARON, wherein he has enlightened a lot of people, especially where hydrogen, molecular hydrogen is concerned, and its properties. And I feel with that, it'll give you all a lot of enlightenment. And all those people who are already viewing this, I think you will be very well informed. And now I think you will be in a position to take certain measures as to how to understand not just molecular hydrogen, but its properties when it combines with water, and where energy by itself, I would just talk on our product by itself again there. And as I think there are many people from Energic here, I'll just take a very brief on our product. Though we were, as I said, basically we are again talking about active hydrogen, and that's the base in our product, and that's how it was invented. And I won't take much time because there are specialists who have already in it, scientists who have already proven that. I would only make a note that whenever I've tried to stress upon that we should be very well informed and be certified. I think Dr. TYLER LEBARON was very clear in that. Like though there were many testimonies or books written by various learned scholars, but still there is something called which has to be certified. So I think we should keep that in mind, take this forward. But at the same time, where Energic is concerned, yes, we do have a lot of certified, I would say, advantages where our product is concerned. And as you know, we've been in this field, right, for the past 45 plus years, where it is basically more than trying to give you financial assistance, but it has more with wellness. And I've always called this product a wellness product. And especially the need of the hour is that for all of us today, all over the world. So taking that forward, my thinking is briefly where Energic is concerned, we have a very reputed product from Japan, scientifically approved and proven. And also they have come out with a very attractive business plan to give every individual, especially in the direct selling industry, comforts in mental health, wealth, and peace of mind. I think that's basically what it is. So ultimately, it is health with wealth. It's not just wealth. Wealth will come, but if your health is no good, I don't think it makes sense. So it is always to be healthy, and then also you have wealth coming, and then you get your peace of mind. So that is basically the philosophy. And in India, I would just give you a brief, though we started way back in 2015, until now. I would say, though we started in a very humble way, and how I got into it is, though I'm an industrialist having more than 45 years, I took it basically as a consumer initially, and then I joined the company as one of its directors, knowing the properties of its wellness needs for the country. And we were the first people to introduce it in India. We're very proud to say that. At that time, during the 2015, 16, nobody knew what was alkaline water, basically, let alone its hydrogen properties. So they just started claiming that alkalinity was important for antioxidants, etc. But then when we go deep into it, you will realize that this water has a lot of properties, which is very more closer in the line of what Dr. TYLER spoke. Active hydrogen and how much is dissolved in the water is a point of us to analyze, which we would hopefully do after what we have heard from him. And we would definitely share. And I think Shashi has been a great, I must congratulate you here again, Shashi and Aru, for your proactive and your zeal, your enthusiasm, and the type of hunger you have for knowledge and getting such good panelists on this board. A very big hand for Shashi and Aru. I would suggest to all our viewers here, if not for him, I don't think we'll have these opportunities. Not only Dr. TYLER, he's brought many good people from where we gain a lot of knowledge and wisdom. And with that, I would say where we are concerned, Energic, during this course from 15 to 23, I would very proudly say that we have become the #1 in India. So this is a very important message I'm conveying to you, especially for all my participants and well-wishers, my brothers and sisters of Energic, and in particular where Shashi is concerned. He is, I would very much appreciate him on behalf of Energic India Kangen Water. Among my experience and having interacted with many of my direct sellers, he has been one very well-informed and a noteworthy person in the direct selling. And I think you will get very few people, and I would love all of you to more or less take a cue from him, to try to come out with this type of an inspiration and trying to conduct yourself so that you also be part of it. And you can share a lot of knowledge and information to all your fellow colleagues. The point here is he is bringing out, he goes to the great depth of trying to understand about direct selling. And not only that, he's trying to convey two things in direct selling. One, its benefits as an individual, how you can progress. At the same time, he's proved to say that as a direct seller, you see, your knowledge is always unlimited, how much you can gain And that is very important. That's what he's proved in here, especially where Energic is concerned. He's brought in, he's trying to merge a lot of information, technology, knowledge, scientific research, etc., with great scholars on his panel, where you will learn a lot. So all those, I think, who are in the team of Shashi are the very lucky guys. And I hope all the others who are also part of Energic, I wish them all that they should see this program of Shashi and get a cue from him. And they should also try to share and practice what he's been doing. So a very big congratulations to Shashi on behalf of Energic India Kangen Water once again. And I wish you all good success. And to all my viewers here, Energic is in the direct selling. I'm very proud to say from the years from 15, 16 until now, we have done quite a lot of progress. Not only, as I say again, we are number one in India. There's no other ionizer that can compete with us. So you have a good leader with a lot of good things in him. Utilize him, try to grow with this industry. At the same time, try to do very ethical practices and understand so that you're trying to share the goodness of not only the product, but to share your goodness to mankind. And today being Good Friday, I wish all the viewers here a very peaceful and loving moment to you and your loved ones, because Good Friday is a moment of where it is shared to just bring peace and love to mankind in general. So I wish one and all peace, love, and good wishes on this day so that we all share and be as one community. Simultaneously, I would say in the direct selling industry in India now, we have brought in a lot of regulations, both from the central and state governments. So you don't have to worry. We have registered in more than about 15, 16 states of India. So we have fulfilled all the regulations to the T that is required, which is legally required for the direct selling industry. Simultaneously, to just give you a brief, we are a $1.4 billion population in India. We are just very, 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 very low at the tip of the iceberg, I would say, where we could gain a lot of business. And there is a lot of potential. You don't have to worry. If you only concentrate in India, the business potential is phenomenal. And the percentage of direct sellers are also very, very minimal. So what I'm trying to emphasize on this is you have a great potential in this country. You have a great product with you. So with these two things, I don't find reason why you should have second thoughts and go ahead. Here are examples like with Shashi, like though he's been in various direct selling entity companies. And if he's joined Energic, there should be a reason behind it. And if he's going to product it and go vigorously on that, there's again a reason behind it. So try to replicate him, get to know him better, interact with him. And I would suggest if you can just join him as a good team, I don't think you should look back. And in direct selling, the advantages are as an individual, you have very minimal investment to make. You have an opportunity to earn a lot of money in your spare time or in a full time. Subsequently, you have the potential to do it as a family business. See, that is the charm of this business. And where Energic is concerned, I think we are the only company today in the direct selling where once you register, you can nominate your agreement or your membership of your independent distributor ID carried over to generations. So that is one great advantage which you can look forward to. You can give it to you can will it and it can keep on going till eternity. Let's hope that everything goes as long as the business goes and the company exists and we are all there with God's will. I think that is what I would like to stress upon. And subsequently, the women entrepreneurs, they are again very, very active in direct selling. To just give you an information, I don't think many of you know, though I would like to promote a lot of the women folks in India. And because this is a product which is very, very useful for you because you are the main member of the family and you know what it is and how important water is and how you should utilize it for various purposes. And there can't be a better item than Energic. So my request is get into it, in more detail. I won't take much time on this. I've just given you a brief. So in India, we have a very big potential. In the world also, you have a great potential in direct selling. And in India, the women folk are more than about 40-50% of the percentage are already involved in direct selling. So this will just give you a kind of encouragement that you should not be conservative in thinking, why should I do direct selling? So you have the greatest potential to do it with a family, with your husband, with your brothers, with your children, and when you all are together as a family, you spend more time, and that gives you a lot of opportunities to take this business to the next level, which is unlimited. It all depends upon the individual's interest and his zeal and commitment. So with this, I once again thank Shashi for giving me this opportunity to be on this panel of all these great speakers. And I was very impressed with that little time I heard Dr. TYLER LEBARON speaking. He is a person with high knowledge. And I think now this is going to be another turning point, I think, in India. And I would be very much interested in knowing it more. For all I know, I might be a student of his because age is no limit. And to understand, I think molecular hydrogen is playing a very interesting part. And they have done, I think, more or less considerable research for these past 17 years or 13 years. I think where doctor is concerned, I think he's been 14 years with the experience of speaking all over the world, especially for molecular hydrogen. And he's been an executive director of the Molecular Hydrogen Institute. So this gives you a great opportunity that you're associating with a very professional and a knowledgeable individual and an institute supported by Shashi Iyer and his team. And so, well, that's it. And subsequently, I think there's going to be some more very learned speakers with a lot of rich knowledge and experience going to join you folks. So please take this opportunity, be attentive, make some good notes, understand what is happening. It's not just to be on this channel and then you just hear it and go and forget about it. Don't do that. They say far out of mind is far out of sight. Don't do that. You must get yourself involved because you are not going to get these type of opportunities again, where you get people with years of experience and knowledge who come and just give it to you in a few seconds and a few hours. So that is wisdom which you should try to gain and grasp and take it forward. So with this, I once again thank you, Shashi, and all the participants here. And Dr. TYLER, if I missed you, once again, my good wishes to you and the other participants, and all good wishes, and have a lot of peace, love on this Good Friday. God bless, and all good wishes to you, Shashi, and your team of Panacea. I hope you all grow many folds greater. Okay, good luck. And on behalf of Energy India Kangen Water, good night and God bless.
Gratitude, sir. Thank you for everything and all the participants. Before we come to the end of the session, and before I hand over to Chinnappa to summarize it, all the people who missed because of technical snag today, Chinnappa, this platform owes a responsibility. Tomorrow, Saturday, Nourish and Flourish will keep an open session, open for all, no cost attached, absolutely free for all the people who were ever connected with Panacea. So it will be translation, it will be a Hindi session, Hindi-English mixed session tomorrow. And why we chose molecular hydrogen as a subject? Molecular hydrogen, therapeutic benefits. Alkaline water has more than 10 to 12 benefits, important health benefits. And now, for people who love molecular hydrogen, for therapeutic effect, it is a must. For people who love alkaline water, for health benefits, it is a must. And combination of both is Enagic Kangen water ionizers, guys. So one single device, 100 multiple uses. Enagic Kangen water ionizer comes as the one and only one such product and device in the whole world. And this life of mine, what you see me here, this second life is dedicated purely 100 on 100 to Enagic Kangen water. If Shashi Iyer is back to normalcy without pills and bills, if he's alive after a brain surgery in 2016, and without any pills and medications or homeopathy, Ayurveda or allopathy. Let me emphasize, it was thanks to only and only magic Kangen water. I don't credit it to any diet and nutrition. I don't credit it to any food or supplements. I don't credit it to any meditations or yoga. It is only and only antioxidant miracle, molecular hydrogen, alkaline, naturally alkaline rich, microclustered, energic Kangen water. So gratitude, this life is dedicated to water and especially energic water ionizer. Till my last breath, cancer, this is a commitment I pledge because this life
Thank you,
belongs to
Sashi.
energic as a whole complete. So
Thank
we
you,
will
thank you,
empower
sir.
people with this knowledge. I was fortunate, I came back alive. And thanks to this water, without knowing, we didn't have this much of knowledge at that time. I invested all these years of existence only in research, in getting this knowledge from scientists of the world, mentors of even Dr. Tyler or anybody in the world directly connected, associated on the subject knowledge. So today, probably we can lead the whole world when it comes to drinking water literacy program. So thank you, Tanser and Enagic India, for giving us this amazing opportunity and to take forward Chinnapabro for you to summarize, and we send the link for tomorrow. We'll take a screenshot with Tanser also, first time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Shashi bro. So I just want us to thank each one of you for taking time. We have exceeded by around 27 minutes. We apologize for that. And I just want to thank this Tanser, Executive Director, Anagic.
Thank you, Chinnappa.
To be present on the show. We also extend our gratitude and blessings to Dr. TYLER LEBARON, because he has given us so much of his understanding about us, the benefits of molecular hydrogen in water, which is available with Kangen water. Kangen water is a molecular hydrogen-rich water with other properties, that is antioxidant, alkalized water, and microplastic. So you all need to experience this water. So all people who are drinking this water, kindly use your machines wisely. And people who are new, please understand this a little better and take it forward, because it is going to save your family and give you a very, very good health. So I request is each one of you to come on the screen. So let us all celebrate together the molecular hydrogen health benefits. And second one, I just want us, all the people who have missed out. So we are extending this show tomorrow. The summarization of Dr. TYLER LEBARON will happen tomorrow in both the languages, English and Hindi. So we extend sincere, we request your forgiveness for that. Maybe like it's a technical, it is only in our hands. So, and please be present. So we will all circulate the links across. So let us all meet up tomorrow at same time, that is 9 o'clock, 9 to 10. So it'll all made easy. So let's all catch up. Thank you. Please take care. Good night.
Good night. Good night. And God bless to all of you.
God bless you. Thank you.